Hey, what's up, everyone? Good morning. Hey, Jonathan, Bill, Paul. What is good, my friends? Yo, look at this bounce. Beautiful uptrend we got this morning. I like it. Only got a couple minutes to the open, and we might get a setup right away. Just checking out the key levels. So far, an inside day. But this is a nice little bounce up. Definitely has potential. Morning, McLeese. Hey, Michael. Hey, Tommy. Morning, Ed. Hey, Martin. S&P has a little ways to go till we get to that next key level, so we have plenty of room to get a setup before we get there. Hey, Philip. Lo and behold, Nasdaq doing the same exact thing. That's awesome. Gonna load some more days on my Nasdaq chart though. Hey, George. Ooh, you'll notice I just put this on the chart too. We are right at yesterday's high. So this should be interesting to see whether we burst above it or reject off of it to start the session. Nasdaq's at the same level. All right, there's the opening bell. Not the greatest thing in the world to take a long if we're coming off of yesterday's high like that. All right, starting to pop above. Good morning, Aaron. Sorry I didn't see you. You got hidden there in the chat. Welcome to the channel. Glad you're here. Neil, Freedom, good to see you. SPY, or rather ES, is now above 7,000. SPY approaching, we'll still got like $3 until it gets to 700. Over on NQ, we're right testing that level right now. The big question, of course, can we get over it, or is that going to be resistance for the session? George, this would be the 21 EMA as it states in the description. Aaron, it is not a 1 minute time frame. Let's take a gander, look at the chart. It says exactly what kind of chart it is. NQ rejecting off of that key level. Not what you want to see if you're a bull. We still do have an uptrend in play, so we can't short just yet, but rejecting off that key level, not great for going long. Good morning, Joanne. Ooh, S&P finding some support on the EMA. This is what we like to see. If we can get a second entry, I will take it. We already had the pullback, the first attempt higher, looking for that second pullback, and a bullish bar right around here. So far not looking good though. It's dropping below the 21, and Nasdaq, as we've already established, quite a bit weaker. We'll keep track of this little correction trend. We still have that larger uptrend in play. So we still would expect possibly one more push up. But that key level can complicate things. Possible overshoot on this move down. So now that we have a little overshoot on this correction, that could lead to a big bounce in the other direction. If we pop up above the 21 and get a higher low, I would be interested in taking that. Still not bouncing up. Now it looks like this correction trend possibly a bit wider, so we're gonna have to be a little bit more patient. This thing could have a little break and second push down before it eventually bounces. NQ looks played out though. Little move down, close outside, new low. If we pop above the EMA and get a higher low, I will take it. Not looking good for the bounce so far though. Still stuck in this little channel down. We finally have a little breakout, close outside of that channel. Likely to get one more push down before we bounce. There's a nice big bar. Let's see if it can actually get us above the the S&P, the EMA. NQ also had a pretty decent looking higher low. If we can close above the EMA and get that second higher low, that's what we will be looking for. All right, NQ starting to look pretty decent. If this turns into a higher low, I'm going to be taking it. Yes, this is looking good so far. ES might be setting up at the same time, so I'm watching that as well. That is turning around, not what you want to see. That's why we wait for confirmation, folks. All right, here's another chance at that higher low. It's looking pretty decent. It's kind of a big bar, but other than that, the context is right. And there's a big wick on the top of that bar. I'm not going to risk that. Plus, the S&P is still kind of hanging out around those lows. Water fasting, good morning. You just got here and heard bar butt. It's a good bar, but all right, we're above the 21 now. Let's see if we can get a higher low on ES. Big push up. We went a little too high for the higher low at this point. Starting to get some volatility as well. And as far as news goes, we do not have anything. We already got through unemployment, which was a little bit lower than expected. So some decent econ news there. I'm liking this volume that's coming in though. Fed speakers. Yeah, we do have Schmidt and Bowman speaking today. I don't know if that's going to do a whole lot. I'm not really going to trade or change my trading decisions because of it, but you never know, right? Bulls are unable to push us up. Kind of hard to tell what we would even want at this point. I'm still biased to the upside. So we still have this trend that is technically in play, right? We had a close outside. We have not had that second push to a new high. This downtrend definitely looks played out. The close outside and a new low. So I would be biased to the upside. Just waiting for a chance. So waiting for a really good looking higher low. Even better would be a double higher low. That would be ideal. Let's see if it can happen. Maybe someone else has some better insight as to what's happening. Anyone taking a trade here? Anyone jumping in? To me, I don't see any setup, but I'm generally biased towards the upside. Maybe y'all see something differently. Well, quiet in the chat, so I'm guessing you guys are in the same boat as me. There was some promise of some volatility. Starting to get some decent movement back and forth, but that has turned into congestion. And I wish we had some sort of news release that we could turn to with hope for a breakout or catalyst, but we don't even have that. So we're just going to hope that one side or the other really starts to get a conviction or something. Yeah, there you go, Ed. Check in with soybeans. You never know those soybean futures. That's where the real good stuff's at. A little bit too early to draw a wider downtrend. We're just going to have to remain patient here. I mean, maybe we got something like this, because that previous little downtrend could have played out. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Very volatile. Looks like another overshoot. So again, I'm expecting possibly a vertical bounce. I might take an aggressive trade here if we get a really good looking higher low, on the notion that this is indeed an overshoot and we are indeed going to bounce. See if we can get it. Not so far. Looks instead like we might crack a new low. And zooming out, this still could be just a pullback from this move up. This is kind of the line in the sand. We've retraced about 50% of this move. So if we go any farther, it's no longer a pullback. It's just a reversal. If we can pop up from here, we could still reasonably expect a new high. It's not a very strong showing for the higher low there. I'm going to skip this. Seeing if there's any possibility of a wider downtrend. It looks sketchy for sure. So this is, again, line in the sand kind of area. We're going to see very soon whether bulls or bears are in control here, whether we can expect a new high or expect more downside. It's all going to depend on where we go from here. If we keep going lower, or if we bounce back up into the upper half of that that trend up there. There's an attempt to get above the EMA. Let's see if it can close there. So far, kind of rejecting the EMA. All right, well, there's our answer. Another move towards the downside. So I'm not really expecting a new high of the uptrend at this point. Looks like it was just a V-shaped reversal. I don't know that there's any other way to draw this uptrend. Maybe from here, I don't know. Either way, not really expecting a new high. This is more looking like just a big volatile range. We're going to have to be playing each individual channel. So right now we had this move going down. It looks like a closeout side and a new low. We would expect a bounce, and we can look for a reversal setup as that happens. could be a really aggressive long. Let's flip over to Nasdaq while we're waiting for something to develop. See if things are any more clear. I doubt it. Well, actually, that's a pretty decent looking channel on NQ. So I'd be down to look for a short on this next pullback here. Still dropping down to new lows. We're waiting again for a pullback to consider a short on that or on the Nasdaq. S&P, it looks a little bit more like this downtrend's played out. Unless we got a wider pattern going on. So still a little bit of inconsistencies between the two markets. Ideally, you'd be expecting the same exact things. Maybe this is just a wider channel on ES, in which case we would. But either way, we'll know on the next pullback what the deal is. If the EMA holds as resistance, we will take the short. This looks like it's going to go challenge the overnight low, though. Possible little overshoot even of our wider channel there. NQ still in a very clean channel here. Pretty wild price action this morning, guys. Wow, another possible overshoot here. ES is now challenging yesterday's low. All eyes are going to be on this level. We already tried to take out yesterday's high. That did not work. Now we're testing yesterday's low. If we break through and hold it, so break through, come back, retest, and hold it, we are going to be all in on shorts. But this could easily provide support. If we cannot break through, maybe we like poke through and come back above. This is when we're going to know for the rest of the day that we're in a range. So this is going to shape the course of the entire day right here. This already shaped one part of the day. We know that we're not going to have a bullish trend. This right here is where we find out if we're going to have a bearish trend or not. Poked through, we're headed back up. So early indications say range, early indications say we're not breaking out, but there's still time. We're still right around this level. This could very easily drop off. Just getting a little bit of information along the way. We get a second entry short here. It'll be pretty tricky to trade since we're right on that key level. I could consider it if it's really good. But so far, this is looking like an overshoot right at the key level. Kind of a dangerous place to take a trade. Definitely not seeing a really what's the word? Like a flush with conviction. We're chopping around the level. All right, there's a nice push down. Cool, cool. Let's see if it can hold. Nice. Well, if it keeps going down here, we can easily widen this trend and look for shorts. So far, that's looking like the play. NQ has a ways to go before it gets to its next key level. We already broke through yesterday's low, and it's holding below that, so at least in that regard, it is more bearish than the S&P. And so either way, I'm looking for a short. Just waiting for the S&P to get back to the 21 EMA. Everything is looking really good for a short. As long as we don't get any major bounce or something. But we come back, find a little resistance at the 21. Get a good signal bar, we're going to be in on it. No setup there. We reached a new low, but that should build more conviction in this downtrend. Absolutely no reason to get long. We are just looking for an opportunity to trade to the short side. Looks like another unbroken low here on the S&P that I had not had marked out yet. Let's see where that ends up. Pretty close, so hopefully we can get a trade on the way to it. Let's double check that the NQ does not have another level. Nope. So either way, we're good to go for a short. We just need to pull back to the 21. And Q still hasn't really pulled back. ES, kind of. It's more gone sideways. But we'll see what happens at the moving average. If we get a good rejection and a bearish bar, this is where I'd like to short. Yeah, looks like we might be in for a deeper pullback. So what we would need here is ideally this little uptrend to play out with a close outside of this trend, new high, then a push down and a lower high. I'll take a lower high here. Right, there's a nice little push down. I think a better opportunity might come on the Nasdaq. It has a little bit more of a clean pullback. It already has two distinct legs, right? We had the first leg right here, one attempt lower. Second leg is happening right now. If we can get a bearish bar right here, it's going to be money. It's going to be A plus. Come on, baby, reverse for us. Need this bar to reverse. If it closes above the EMA, we're going to have to be more patient. Just kind of what looks like is going to happen here. Yep, close above the EMA there. S&P also closed above the EMA, but S&P is looking really good. It had two nice clean legs back. It's where we'd expect to push down. If we get that, we're just looking for that lower high. Ooh. Still hasn't really gotten below the EMA yet. That's fine. If it's going to keep going up, we're just going to have to wait for it. That's why confirmation is important, right? If we would have just started shorting this randomly, we'd be underwater. We want to see everything lining up in our direction, in our favor. We have our bias locked down. We know we want to short. Now we just need the bars to show us that sellers are ready to step back in and push the market down. But not right now, so I think we're gonna have to be more patient. Looks like we're gonna be doing a proper retest of this key level on ES, and I am pretty confident that we're gonna get some good setups. So looking forward to trading with the Discord team. Link, of course, is always below to the WAP site where you can sign up. Yeah, hope it's been a good trading day for you so far. Some patience needed, but things are really starting to line up and we may have some good opportunities soon. So hope it's a great day for you. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys soon.